It's 2024, and whether you're a newcomer to Cookie Run Kingdom or a veteran player grinding since 2021, you might be wondering, is this game still alive and kicking, or has it crumbled like a stale cookie? A game is typically considered dead when it experiences a significant decline in popularity. This often involves a dwindling player base, diminished interest from content creators, and a lack of updates or support from the developers. However, a game is truly considered dead only when it becomes unplayable due to server shutdowns or complete inaccessibility. So let me start off this video by stating Cookie Run Kingdom is not a dead game. To answer our question about whether or not the game is thriving, we need to consider what Cookie Run Kingdom is doing to attract and retain a significant player base, plus are the developers committed to the game's long-term success. So let's begin our analysis by examining various factors that may lead us to some conclusions. Sit back, relax, and take a journey with the Common Cookie. First, let's look at Google Trends. This tool measures the popularity of search queries over time, giving us a glimpse into a game's relevance. While Google Trends data can provide valuable insights into a game's popularity and interest over time, it should be used in conjunction with other metrics to get a better picture, a more accurate reading of a game's actual player base and overall health, which we will explore. And of course, it's easy to look at chart go up, look at chart go down, and draw some conclusions, but I wanted to get some actual facts behind this. I wanted to explore, why did Cookie Run have such a intense boom? Where did it become mainstream? Where did it become a mobile mainstream game? And why has it somewhat shifted downwards since then? In order to understand this graph, in my opinion, we have to understand a live service game's typical life cycle. So I wanted to gloss over that here for just a moment, and then we'll plot out this graph and draw some conclusions. So for a live service game, which Cookie Run Kingdom is, you have the planning, production, launch, live operations, expansion, and maintenance. That is the cycle of life when it comes to live service games. Throughout this life cycle, the development team's size and focus fluctuates. Of course it does. Right now, the live service operations phase is crucial for games of this nature. It's where the long-term engagement and monetization strategies are implemented and refined. The success of a live service game, often 9 out of 10 times, hinges on how well a team can adapt to player feedback and market trends during the post-launch life. This adaptability is key to maintaining players' interest and ensuring the game's longevity in a highly competitive mobile market. Cookie Run Kingdom is currently in the active development phase known as live operations. This involves frequent updates, seasonal events, game balance tweaks, and recently we had a really good game developer kind of podcast slash video that provided a great glimpse into the future plans of the Dev Sisters team and really laid out a roadmap. So I wanted to kind of dive into that a little more, drill a little further down here, and see what these plans might be to get a better understanding on where we are in the life cycle graphic. So during this live stream, by the way, if you are a Cookie Run player, you were pumped up to learn some of these future plans. So 2024, we're already starting to see some things roll out. We recently got the new edition of the Burning Spice Cookie, which has a ton of hype around it. We're gonna have some free-to-play improvements, is what we were promised. The devs, they are aware of power creep, and they're trying to address that, especially for free-to-play players, in order to maintain the game's competitiveness. And this is really true for me specifically because I am a arena player. That's how I started the channel. That's what I love about Cookie Run Kingdom. So I was pumped up to hear this one. They're also going to look into game optimization. They're going to improve the production buildings. They're going to improve the quality of life for the overall kingdom and resource acquisition. So this is another important fix that they're looking to implement. Talking about arena mode, they are going to introduce new game modes. They're going to have new beast raids. They're going to have a little mine exploration mini game, which I think they had a long time ago, but they're bringing it back. And they're also going to have a fun twist on arena called Arena Mayhem, where you are going to have 7 cookies. So that is going to be crazy. Another big thing that really stuck out to me is that they're planning on aligning the Chinese version of Cookie Run Kingdom with the global version. They're going to synchronize them a little more, so that way they're not two completely different games, which I thought was a huge win in my opinion, because I go on YouTube and I'm always watching players who do play on the Chinese server. I'm like, what the heck? I want to do that. Why can't I use those cookies? Why aren't those cookies meta over here on global? So looking forward to that one. And then they're also going to take a look at monetization and improve on the kingdom passes and those rewards. So some major W's when it comes to 2024 updates. And then going on with the dev live stream, they went into some detail with 2025, still cooking up new cookies or baking up new cookies in the oven. They're going to have like shadow milk, some new beast cookies, competitive mode. So kind of going along with the Arena Mayhem that they're going to introduce in 2024. They're going to have a new competitive mode in 2025 called the Champions League, which you already know this common cookie is going to be grinding that all day long. They're going to introduce Guild Wars, which is going to be interesting considering we got the dojo, baby. So dojo, we're going to get ourselves aligned and prepared for that one. I'm telling you, I am loving this game right now. In my last video, I showcased how many hours I've been putting into Arena. It's kind of crazy. Go watch that video if you haven't, but they're also going to introduce like an RPG style mode inside Cookie Run Kingdom called My Cookie Adventure, where you're going to be a cookie and you're going to be hacking and slashing. Should be interesting. But one of the biggest, I guess, announcements for 2025 is the release of Dark Enchantress Cookie, potentially around the 5th anniversary. So that cookie is going to draw a lot of eyes to the game, because that is one of the main evil cookies of the game. Of course, White Lily got transformed, overcooked in the oven, mixed with some suspicious ingredients, and well, she became an evil cookie, one of the strongest, evilest cookies in all of the kingdom. So you're going to be able to play that cookie, and that is going to be insane. I'm looking forward to that. So the fact that we're finally getting like a roadmap, to me, is showing that and kind of solidifying my stance on where we are in the life cycle graphic. We're in the live operations phase right now, where you look to focus on improving the game, adding new features, and really taking player feedback into consideration and trying to keep your active fan base player count good to go, happy, satisfied. That's where we are right now. So that is confirmed without a doubt. And returning to our original Google Trends graph, we can kind of plot based on the information we just discovered, reviewed, and determine our current position, right? We're in the live operations phase. We can see those spikes where they have new updates, new cookies. We got a little spike here and there. Interesting enough, this giant upward spike, it was around their marketing campaign, more specifically where they introduced a lot of English voice actors, and it just blew up the game. So a lot of the cookies are English voice acted by some really well-known individuals, and they had like a little marketing campaign, and that's kind of where Cookie Run went mainstream. And we can also see when the game launched, had a nice spike, but then kind of tanked a little bit right before that huge marketing push. So honestly, the game, it's in a solid spot right now. But we didn't really address another question that we had originally, and that is what motivates the developers, right, to remain committed to the game's long-term success. So, in order to figure that out, we need to follow the money, baby. If the first part of this video hurt your brain, I am sorry, but we're about to go where no other cookie has gone before. This is what happens when you leave me in the oven for a little too long. So, what motivates the developers to ensure long-term success? In the case of Cookie Run Kingdom, we can turn to DevSisters, a publicly traded South Korean company. Being public means that they are accountable to shareholders, which can incentivize the developers to prioritize sustained growth and player satisfaction. But don't take my word for it. Let's check out the balance sheets. While specific metrics for Cookie Run Kingdom might not be available, we can look at DevSisters' overall financial performance, which I believe offers a good indicator into their success. This includes factors like revenue, user engagement, market share, and overall company health. A good company, in my opinion, that is healthy has a strong user base, and in turn, the developers are more likely to invest in the long term of that game's success. Diving into the numbers, we're looking at profitability metrics. So, a solid profitability metric has to be return on equity, aka ROE. ROE is a metric that measures how effectively a company generates profit from the money invested by shareholders. A higher ROE generally indicates better performance, as it shows the company is making more profit per dollar for its shareholders. So, while general benchmark ROEs can be around 15 to 20%. The ideal range can vary depending on the industry that we're looking at. For example, technology companies, they might have a higher ROE than a farming company. It's important to also consider ROE with other factors on the financial sheet, such as revenue, profit margin, and debt levels. Well, looking at this ROE, one of the most important factors we have to consider is consistency. So going back to a good ROE, 15 to 20% in the technology industry. Right now in 2024, we have around 29% ROE for the DevSisters company. The issue is, if you look at the year before, negative 30%. So we are all over the place when it comes to this ROE. And it's just not consistent. So we're gonna have to look at other numbers, but I do want to note, as of right now, 2024, ROE is looking good. When in doubt, debt to equity ratio it out is what my grandpappy always used to say. So the debt to equity ratio is a critical indicator of a company's financial health. It measures its reliance on borrowed funds compared to its equity. A ratio that is low generally suggests a stronger financial position, as it indicates the company has more equity to cushion it against financial challenges. Using the provided data from 2023 in the balance sheet, we look at the total liabilities sitting at $105 billion, and we're going to also take the number total equity at $135 billion. We calculate the debt to equity ratio by dividing the two, and we hit with a 0.78. So 0.78, which is generally considered a solid ratio. Anything underneath 1.0 is good. That means the company has more equity than debt. Now, if we were to rely on other financial gurus, according to Warren Buffett, I actually found out in my research, only looks at companies with a debt to equity ratio lower than 0.8. So technically, in Warren's eyes, this would fit the mark. So we got the Buffett buff, I'm going to call it. So taking both numbers, overall, the DevSisters Corporation, I am not a financial advisor cookie, but according to my research, the creators of Cookie Run Kingdom appear to be in a relatively good position in terms of company health. They've recently returned to profitability after a period of losses, which is good to read. and revenue and operating income has also shown improvements over the last quarter. You know how you continue to increase profitability? You release kick-ass cookies in the gacha, which leads me to my next and final point. So if your little cookie brain is still with me here in the last half of our video of Cookie Run in 2024, is it dead? Is it kicking? Well, I'm going to take a temperature check on the community, see how the community is feeling, and I'm going to turn to the official Cookie Run Kingdom YouTube channel and just kind of look at the numbers. You know, how many people are watching each and every video. We're looking at the most recent. We see with Burning Spice, they've been pumping out some content. Each video almost hitting the 200K mark. I predict, give it another week, it probably will. Looking a little further back into time, we see Win Archer. They have some content pieces kind of getting stuck at around 150. So Burning Spice definitely bringing back some hype. I want to say, like, the views in general have been pretty solid when it comes to the official channel, which leads me to believe that people are definitely interested in Cookie Run Kingdom. And kind of going on with the same mentality, I'm going to check out reddit.com and look at the Cookie Run Kingdom subreddit here. There's a lot of art posts, a lot of upvotes, a lot of comments. I think it's pretty active. And then also checking out the actual Cookie Run Kingdom Discord. There's a ton of people chatting in there, and I noticed that the chatter usually increases, you know, around updates. A lot more people come piling in. So the 3 different social platforms, YouTube, Reddit, Discord, all in all, the activity, in my opinion, on those platforms are all pretty positive, pretty active, and it's trucking on along. And to me, it doesn't indicate at all that we're in any type of dead game era, I guess you can say. So taking everything into consideration, let's get to a conclusion. As we've seen, Cookie Run Kingdom has had quite the journey in popularity, much like any live service game, but it's still holding its own in the competitive mobile gaming world. Looking ahead, I am optimistic about Cookie Run Kingdom and its future. With Dev Sister's commitment to regular updates, exciting new content, I believe we will continue to see this game trend upwards once again. Maybe not to its glory days of popularity, but we are going towards the right direction. Now, of course, at the end of the day, it is going to be up to the Dev Sisters if they do want to boost up the game's popularity once again, like we saw in that original marketing campaign very early on with all those voice actors. Who knows? They might be cooking something in the kitchen that we don't know yet, right? What I do know is the facts, and the facts are the company's finances are in solid shape. What I do know is the community in solid shape, and what also I know is that they have a roadmap and they are coming out with things that the community has been asking for. So if you ask me, is it a good time to get into Cookie Run Kingdom? It's a simple answer, and it is yes. I am all about it. As you know, I started this channel about 4 months ago. I've been grinding Arena, and since then have been enjoying myself in game and experiencing the whole game, not just Arena. And that's what led me to make this specific video. Just kind of looking at Cookie Run Kingdom in general, looking at their past, looking at their present, and looking forward to the future. So that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you if you did make it this far into the video. Shout out to you. If you made it this far, you might as well hit that smash button, subscribe, and also let me know your thoughts. If you watched the whole video, I want you to type Common Cookie for President. All right, that's how I know you watched the whole thing. I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's going to be it for me. Common Cookie out.